Do I invest in myself? Can I trust myself to do this? Will it work?
The visibility and the traffic that could come with it, it was something that I needed at that point.
We have to do something ridiculous. We have to actually put something together that is so mind-blowing that women are just gonna, completely say yes.
That's gonna also rank well in Google, and you're gonna be able to see yourself in bookstores. That holds such a weight in terms of branding, in terms of authority.
All of a sudden you got this collaborative group and boom, 30 to 50 or 100 people mail for me.
It's all about building these very strong joint ventures, this movement, which is so powerful.
Access is everything. Having an access is getting in the door.
One, I think it's a good strategic business choice in terms of marketing and PR, but two, also because it's so much fun.
Let's bring Jet out because, she's a perfect example, not only of collaboration, because first off, we had this discussion. Jet is actually one of our authors as well in the Intuition book. And she's like, Rhonda, hey, what if we did an event in Europe together? She's from Amsterdam. I'm like, done, sister. Like, she took action. She connected with me. She's already in the book. Of course, we're going to support it. Like, this is the epic things that are happening. So she's going to speak on that. But before she does, I feel like she deserves to have this perfect welcoming. Everyone give her a really big, beautiful welcome. We're going to learn a little bit about Jet right now. She's a complete wild badass. Welcome.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Sharon, Jet, bye.
Awesome. So excited. Yeah, I'm so excited to be here, and you guys' energy has been amazing these past 3 days. So super pumped.
So good to have you here. So how's life for you right now in Bali? Give everyone a little bit of background about you, the things that you've gone through, and then let's just jump into this conversation.
Yeah,
And before we do, y'all, Jet, it's like midnight, after midnight her time. So let's show her some love.
Yeah,
She's
let's give her
1:40 a.m. to be here.
1:40 a.m. Yeah, but it was good. I did a good deep work session before this, and I was like, I was so excited. So yeah, I moved to Bali, I think 4 years ago. It has gone so fast a time, but originally from the Netherlands.
Yeah. All right. So then let's go into this collective conversation that we've been having, right? On, what does it take when we're not only saying yes to collaboration or saying yes to, stepping into new spaces? I mean, you said yes this year to be an intuition author. How did that lead for you? Like, what's been the progress for you to get from where you were then to where you are now? And what were the yeses that you made along the way?
I think especially lately, I've really realized that the universe gives us so many little opportunities or nudges that if you don't pay attention, you will miss them. So I've really embraced this mindset of saying yes to everything I can say yes to everything that feels good, that aligns with where I want to go or what I'm doing at that moment. And that started already a while ago when the first time I had the opportunity to move to Asia. And my parents were like, what? You're going to move to Asia? I was, I think, 17. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it sounds like a great idea. And I just had this gut feeling of, I have to do this. And I moved to Asia, and this is really where I got to learn to work online and how the digital world works. And then after that, I was unfortunately back stuck in corporate. And again, an opportunity came to come back to Bali. And again, I was like, yeah, I think I just have to say yes. I think I just have to go. And I just had this really strong gut feeling. And I think that often we're fearful and we miss these little opportunities that the universe brings to us. So it's really important to recognize them and to obviously say yes as much as we can. And then, fast forward, I started my digital marketing agency after I was a freelancer, then scaled that into my courses and my coaching program. And then I met Rhonda, also in Bali, actually, which is, for me, this seems to be an energetic place somehow that really has drawn me here and has kept me, which is really funny that it connects in so many ways to my story. But then obviously we got to know each other here and realized we were both in the same place. At that point, it felt very aligned for me to take that next step and go from, being really, I would say, an operator in my business, so really doing a lot, to now more getting to inspire people and to really get to talk about digital marketing and, the laptop lifestyle. And I was like, oh my God, an opportunity to be in a book And it was, again, just this thing that I was like, somehow the universe dropped this on me and I just have to do it. I just have to say yes. So that's very short how how I got here. Yeah.
Jed, I love that. It's so good to meet you here, and so happy you're with us. And I think you said something interesting. I went from being an operator in my business to then saying yes, and now I'm speaking. I'm activating. I'm on the stage. Who here is listening to this? And you have been, whether you call it an operator in your business, you've been behind the stage of your life in some way, shape, or form. It doesn't mean that you're not successful. It doesn't mean that you're not doing things, but there is a certain degree that maybe your voice, and we heard this yesterday, right? It's like, as soon as I activated my voice, I lost 40 pounds. The voice was my catalyst for healing. It was the next phase for me. Put me in the chat if that's you. And then there you were. And then you said yes to this. And now there's a whole nother essence of your expression that's coming up, which I also imagine comes back to the business. It's all holistic. I'm sure it's increased the business. I'm sure it's increased your satisfaction of life. I'm sure it's increased the impact that you've had on people. But for anyone that's here, that's maybe kind of in the like visibility threshold, there's this knowing that more is there. There's the uncertainty of, can I have it fully? And then the fear of, do I invest in myself? Like, I'm sure choosing the book, it was an investment. Can I trust myself to do this? Will it work? For anyone that's in a similar place, can you speak to that and what you've now seen on the other side of it?
Yeah, 100%. I think for me personally, because maybe it wasn't my first investment, I was like, heck yeah. I was like, let's do it. I was really confident. And also because I'm already a business owner, I understood the value already of PR and SEO. Now, what I know that the past few days, you guys have really gone into that as well and educated everyone here about how valuable PR, SEO, ranking, and all of these amazing things are. And then, of course, that comes with so much credibility, authority in your business. I think for me, it was really a no-brainer. It was something that I needed at that point in terms of the visibility and the traffic that could come with it. But I would say if this was one of my first investments again, if I think back into the first business coach I had, or, the first really big step I took in my business, I think what's more important to think about is not necessarily ROI, because the ROI we can see on the papers. We can see the numbers, how much ranking, how much it brought my business, how many speaking opportunities, like all of that. We can see that. That's all facts. But I like to think about COI, the cost of inaction. So that means, let's say you get this opportunity now, the universe drops this little seed for you, and you decide, oh, I didn't see it, no, it was not for me, or no, that was probably not directed for me. Now, there's going to be a cost of inaction, a cost of not doing it. And that is often way greater than anything else, than any, loss on returns or anything like that. The cost of not doing it is always bigger. So that's what, for me, really always is a question I ask myself. With any investment, with any big step, imagine the cost of not doing it yet, Like, what would you be missing out on? And this is revenue, potential revenue or money you're going to generate, but also, like you guys discussed, opportunities, collaborations, events. There's so much more attached to this whole movement that I feel like if you feel aligned with Women Gone Wild and the movement that we're creating here, there is going to be a cost of not doing it, because the opportunity is just so huge. That's what I would really ask yourself.
The cost of inaction, the COI, light bulb moment for me. I'm sure seeing that blow up in the chat as well. And, it reminds me of what I call catching the wave, being in Bali, being surfers as well. The wave comes, and if you don't hit it right at the moment, the wave's gone. And do you have the ability to catch another wave? Of course, but you lose the inaction of that.
This is a great example, Jet, is when my daughter Hanalei was invited to speak at Jules' event, right? This is when we first met in 2018. And so she came over, she got the dress, was beautiful. And she said, what if we allowed your daughter to have a fashion show? Now, Hanalei was 11. She had never done a fashion show, and she's 11, right? She's doing this business. She's like, things are like starting to work, but she was nervous. We could have easily said, no, we'll just come. You can have the dress, blah, blah, blah. So within 3 days, we pulled it together. We got 6 models. We had a full collection. I mean, it was unreal. You should see Hanalei's beautiful, we played this in Nepal, the event of the video of Hanalei speaking. But this is why I'm sharing this, is because if we would have said no, Hanalei would never have gone to London Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week, been flown all over the world to speak, make over 6 figures at 12, buy her first property at 16. We would have never also gotten a $30 million Shark Tank investor, that my daughter actually turned down because it wasn't aligned with her values. You want to talk about mind blowing when a 11-year-old says no to that. It was a big lesson for all of us. But I share this is because if we wouldn't have said yes that day, then none of this would have happened. So if we measure literally the cost of, inaction, if we wouldn't have, like, wow. And now I wouldn't have met Jules. We wouldn't have gone to Nepal. We wouldn't have met the most unbelievable people like Missy Kelly, who's in the book now, the leadership book. Also with Elena, who's in the leadership book. Like, we wouldn't have met these people. And you know what? Jules and I would have never decided to collaborate, to finalize, to put 80 million women into a Coliseum sharing their wild story. It wouldn't have happened. We wouldn't have been activated today. Jet wouldn't be here like...
I know, it's all these yeses, it's like a domino effect, and it's so important to recognize them and to be like, yeah, this is the one that was put here for me, this is the one that universe brought and that I have to take action on. And I think that's also something that your gut can lead with. You can feel it in your gut. If this is like something that you're like excited about, this is something that you feel like could be the next step for you or in your business, then listen to that gut feeling and take action, And Jules, also, you mentioned this before, like you had an idea and you took action on it. And the same with Hannele, she got an opportunity, so she took action on it. So it is so important to take action at these right moments, because the domino effect of what can happen afterwards is just amazing.
Yeah, so good. Thank you for that, Jet. And Jet, one of the things that struck me watching your intro video was seemingly how much fun you're having when you're on stage, in your energy. And I think, as we zoom out of this conversation, results are important, cost of inaction is important, all of this is important. But I think what my life has taught me, the most important thing is how we feel living our life. It's the connection to our life force. It's the joy of waking up feeling inspired rather than the pain of feeling like there's something in you that you want to get out, or this knowing that more is coming. That congruency of like, I am on purpose. I am the woman gone wild is something that struck out to me when watching you. And I'm curious if that fits for you. And how is your joy, your satisfaction, more of your self-expression going from operator into public figure? How has that shown up? And tell us about the benefits of that.
Yeah, such a good one. I think that's also relating also again back to the book and what it stands for, fearless living, getting out of the matrix. That's like such a big part of my story that I realized when I was working in Hilton London corporate office in the basement. So many of us are just operating in this robot life, doing the same day in, day out, or actually doing things that don't align with us, that don't make us happy. And we keep obviously going back to it because that's how society has programmed us in a way. And I think understanding that, and this is something like kind of my I would say my quote or my statement I use a lot, but I really like it. It's that we were put on this earth as a human, like it is so crazy to understand that you can hear what I'm saying right now. We can talk to each other. We have the ability to go to Antarctica, like we are humans. We can walk, we can talk, we can eat, we can love, and it is so special. And we could have also been a rock, and then we could have done nothing with our life. So to think that it doesn't matter who created us and what someone believes in, whether that's a god, the universe, or multiple gods, we were not put on this earth to do something that we don't love. We were not put on this earth to do something that doesn't light our hearts on fire and makes us so extremely happy. And I think that too many people do settle for this way of, oh, this is just life, this is what it's supposed to feel like. But it's not, If you realize how special you are, then you get to understand that any dream or any thing that you think about that you would want to achieve in your life is for you. Anything that you set your mind to is possible to achieve. Because if you just realize how special you already are as a person, then literally anything is possible. You can do anything you want in your life because you're not a rock. You're a human. So you get to do awesome stuff, I feel like that's for me like really my life mantra, or how I think about our existence, And yeah, breaking free from that and doing something that we are truly passionate about, that is super important.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. It's so amazing. And you like such great feedback. Thank you for that, Jet, because it's just such a great reminder for us all to go, wow, look at the opportunities. And I say this for myself even this week. Look at the opportunities in the people that we have connection to. You know, sometimes it's easy. We kind of get like, okay, I'm building my business. I'm busy. I got this. Okay. But all of this stuff is available to us. In the moment we go, whoa, wait a minute. Look what's
Yeah.
available. Or look who's even in my field. Like that, to me, the value of collaboration and connection. Our Women Gone Wild, this group alone, and now connecting with Jules' audience, this is like, we have everything that we need. And I remember visioning a long time ago, I'd watch, different marketers and groups, and Jet, you know about this, where all of a sudden you got this collaborative group and they're emailing for each other. And I'm like, oh, wow, they're emailing for her, their offer, they're being affiliates, they're supporting each other. They're creating this, what I started to call it, like this syndicate. Like, how do we have this syndicate of unbelievable people that when I've got an offer, hey, who wants to be my affiliate? Boom, 30 to 50 or 100 people mail for me, builds my business, right? How do I then have a live or do something like this? And then all of a sudden everyone shares it because we care, builds their business. Like people give me stuff, I just share it like crazy. Some people are like, they hold back their shares in their stories and Instagram. I'm like, my women, they tag me. You're getting in front of my 2 million audience, right? But that's the power of knowing and going, hold on, what did I already say yes to? Or what am I saying yes to? And going,
Yeah. It's all about building these very strong joint ventures, right? In like business terms, but in community terms, it's obviously building this movement that we all support each other, which is so powerful. And I've already seen it so many times, with the events that Rhonda has organized and the talks, all of those press releases that we do together and retreats. And it all gives us exposure and power together to, in a way, inspire each other's audiences and really leverage that community network that Women Gone Wild is creating.
Yeah. What do you think, Jules? Should I pop this up? Do you want to jump in there? Do you want me to start kind of sharing everyone what are the possibilities?
Yeah, absolutely. I think before we do that, I just, loving it's the who, not the how. We're all humans. Let's be passionate. I think one of the beautiful things you're offering, and very much kindred sisters, and I look forward to catching up in Antarctica when I can actually talk more. And for those that are joining us as well, but we really get to choose our joy. And that's another way that I'll sum up kind of what I'm hearing. And I shared about my autoimmune journey. The only thing that got me better when I felt so complete with the way things were was focusing on experiencing micro moments of joy. And if you've been living your life for a while and you feel like the joy's been absent or it's been lacking or less than what you'd prefer, you either can put your attention on that or you can put your attention on the fact that we're human. We're not the rock, for example. And so if you want to choose your joy, like I did, 5 minutes of walking to my cul-de-sac or 5 minutes of sitting in the sun, that starts to compound. And where you put your intention, right, on your joy, your attention is what you manifest. You get this wildly incredible life. So if you want to choose that joy for yourself right now, put in the chat, I choose my joy, and put your focus on that joy and watch that compound. And that really is this wild network. So just echoing that back over to you. And thank you, Jeff, for that beautiful inspiration for all of us.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, okay. So let's talk about like what it is that we have come up, because I know there's a lot of authors that have been part of this and they're already part of the world. They're like, oh my gosh, we have this, red carpet event and we've done all these unbelievable things. Well, Jules and I came together. I said, Jules, how do we get 80 women in a Coliseum? How do we get all of these stories in a movie? What's possible? How do we do it? What can we do more of? And she's like, we have to do something ridiculous. We have to actually put something together that is so mind blowing that women are just going to, completely say yes and feel the yes and move forward with the yes all collectively together. So we said this yesterday, though, like this is what I think that we need to always remember is that, the more visible we are, the more success will come from. And it doesn't just necessarily mean money. It just means, like Jet mentioned, all the things that will come from it on an ROI or a COI basis if we don't say yes. On the piggybacking from yesterday, right? The most credible asset, I was actually going to ask you all this first and the slide jumped up, but would you say, give me a yes in the chat, if you think that a book is a credible asset, or if you've met someone and they said, I'm, an author of this book, because this is the report from USA Today. It said 82% of people said that. Like if someone's written a book, it increases my trust, the connection, increases the chance of searching more deeply about what they do. Same with me. People would tell me that they've written a book and I'm just like, oh, amazing. Because first off, I knew what it took. It took me 8 years to launch my first book. I wrote every word myself. And then I was so proud of it, right? And every time I've met someone, I'm like, wow, good on you. Then we created the new series and we have help and ghostwriters and, the authors are working with epic editors with our publishers. I'm like, wow, we can get an unbelievable book launched and put in bookstores all over the world within 12 months because we work with a traditional publishing. We're doing it the way that the publishers and the bookstores want. And so like our process, I'm like, wow. And so if we could have a process and create something that amazing and then have this type of series, then what more could we add to it? How do we make it? How do we hit those goals that we want? So the first book was launched already in 2021. You can actually look it up and see it's done exceptionally well. It's gotten us a lot of attention. And then Wealth just launched this last June. We've already been in about 20 different events. We're in the Oscars coming up in March. The book has been covered in USA Today. I mean, literally this book, the Wealth book, is getting a lot of attention. Kevin Harrington, actually from Shark Tank, gave us an unbelievable endorsement along with Rachel Campbell, who wrote Rise Sister Rise. We had an Olympic medalist. Like we've done unbelievable things just with the Wealth book alone. And now with Intuition, there's some really, really cool things coming forward with our Intuition book that launches in June of this year. Penny Pierce is well known for writing books on intuition, and she's the forward of our book. And so you here all have the opportunity to be part of the next coming book, which is leadership. And everyone that decides to even be part of this mission or world, whether you're an author or not, you'll also be invited to all of these events that we're hosting for not only intuition, but leadership and diversity. And I think Jules and I said, okay, maybe June is usually our month, but she's like, you know what? Let's kick it off in March and let's publish this book in March and have a book launch and a book tour that is pretty mind-blowing.
I think the coolest thing about this is that for all the leadership ladies, you'll actually get to join Jet and the others of the Intuition book ladies and actually be a part of seeing the book launch while knowing that your book is coming to be launched. Yeah. So it's not just a one and done thing. It is this big community that we get to keep expanding into.
Yeah. And then collective, like everyone's here, like we've been New York Times Square. So, okay. So this is what we got going on, right? This is our bullseye woman. All of you are aligned with that. We've been speaking into existence. This is the woman that really we want to move this message, right? And inspire her to be wild, to step into her zone of genius. This is also something that's coming forward. I actually didn't realize this was here, but remember I talked about The Secret and Harry Potter? Well, we are right now in search of, we have been all year, of producers for our next movie. And it was advised that we get a lot of momentum from our book series through intuition, leadership, and diversity. And then we are collectively now bringing this movie to light. Anyone that's part of the series will have access to be part of the upcoming movie. We have a lot of people that have access to Netflix, to Prime, and we are going for it. And so the Wild Woman Awakening movie is happening. Currently, our books are published actually by one of the top publishers, Brown Books Publishing. Millie Brown is the founder, amazing woman. But we, like I mentioned, we're also in conversation with Hay House along with Forbes for our upcoming leadership book. I'm always making bigger next best and bigger decisions. But like Jules mentioned, so this was our last events. We had not only event book signing in LA, Times Square with the billboards, and big book launches in Vegas, in Bali, New York, LA. Like it was massive and a lot of publicity. We get a lot of attention because of what's been happening. And I mean, you look at 25 women standing in Times Square with their faces all over a billboard. People are bound to take a look. In fact, that's how I got my TV show hosting in NASDAQ, because we did the book launch. Producers saw us, they reached out, and boom. Hillary DeCesar, who's actually going to be, she's also one of our upcoming authors for Intuition. She now has a TV show in New York because she just said yes. And boom, now she's got her own TV show. And our authors of Intuition in New York City will be on the television show as well. So like all of this stuff happens just by saying yes, by being part of something so beautiful and amazing. All right, Jules, you want to share this one? Because this was part of Jules' insert to this mission of magic.
So guys, this is my house, Boulder. It's pretty epic. This is where we're going to be doing a 3-day wild writing retreat. I know some of you on this might have actually done some retreats with me and my other masterminds in it. The vision is to actually bring extraordinary women together in a beautiful, tranquil setting. What it actually took to get this house, I ended up purchasing this house this last year, was a pure miracle. And it was aligning to intention. It's not like I had millions and millions in the bank, but I had a vision. I was strategic in how I went about it. And I united with the collective conversation, was able to pull off the loan, pull off the thing. It's like an extraordinary spot. But more than anything, it's a place where we get to be in nature, gather around in the kitchen, make yummy food, write, and mastermind, and actually up level in these different ways. So this is the spot where we're going to do our wild writing retreat.
Yeah, so we have dates early April and early May for those that are.
Is part of the bonus for those that decide to be an early yes, you will get access to coming on this, which is awesome. So if you're sitting on this and you're like, I really want to do this, or I'm not sure, or this seems interesting, this is part of the bonus, and coming to join us is literally getting to be in the space with us where we've been hosting this challenge all week.
Okay. And then of course, now I alluded to this early, but it was always the Rhonda Swan show. And I've been holding out on this new show with Fox and with Pix 11 in New York City. And finally, I'm like, Jules, the producer, he sent me a message this morning. He's like, Rhonda, when are you going to do this? I was like, you know what? We're doing it now. Jules and I are going to do this. We're starting in Antarctica. And he's like, yes. So of course, what that means, all of our authors, you will be a guest host on our show. You'll be showcased in New York, Fox 5 in San Diego, New York City, Pix 11, which are the top television shows or news shows in both California and in New York City. And if you come to Antarctica, you also get to be Beata's coming. I know Jet's, she's trying to work it out. We'll be hosting and recording our very first, shows there. But this is part of what's included. Now, this cost is not what the cost is to be in the book. This is actually a press tour that we do for our PR clients. And we've created a modified version for the book. And you are part of all of the press that we talked about. We've really ramped it up quite a bit as well for the upcoming books, Leadership and Diversity, because now we're really seeing what has happened and what will happen when you get that type of tier one press. And we're really building upon the things we talked about yesterday. So that's part of it. You also are part of, it's included, is being part of the Wild magazine. The Wild magazine's upstairs. Of course, you see Courtney there. All of the authors are not only in a copy of Wild Mag. You have opportunities if you want to be on the cover. You also you're on in our Wild digital publication as well. So we do a lot of attention, you being published in magazines, especially our Wild Mag, and you get to be accessed writing stories. All of the authors also get to have their own column. You can write in the magazine and print. You get to submit 2 articles every month for our digital publication. So it's building upon your credibility. All of the articles and PR that we do, you get a lot of promo material, tier 1, tier 2. So here we go, Jules, like take a look at this. This is, everybody need to get their reading glasses on, because we're like, how are we going to put this whole offer together in one space? And so we have 2 options that are available. One is much heavier on just the book and the launch of the book and building your personal brand. And the other is more on the collaborative PR package, events, retreats, and doing a higher level of PR, if you will. And also, Jules, you can touch on this, but we added in not only monthly publisher calls that we have with our publishers, but this type of mastermind happening every single month, and the collaborative masterminds every single month.
Yeah. So for all of you that are just kind of digesting this as this comes about, it's, as Jet said, it's one of these moments where life drops something in. Whether you knew this was coming, you had a sense it might be, someone who maybe was an author referred you to be here, or it was like a complete surprise. And I think this is one of the times where the call comes. It's like you get the wave is coming, and here's the moment to kind of go, whoa, what could this create? And Rhonda and I really wanted to look at the spirit of visibility. What is the fastest, most efficient, most collective way to take where we're at to go to the next level? Like, if we could design the ship exactly with all the bells and whistles, what is the way to take you from where you are to where you want to go? How do you have a crap ton of fun in the process? How do you choose all the joy? But also, how do you really allow yourself to be out there? And how do we leverage each zone of genius that we each have? Like, every one of us is a unique piece of the puzzle. Rhonda in the PR stuff, me in the transformational event space, and also in the business coaching space. All these incredible women, Jets that we've heard, and all these others that we've heard that are also on this chat right now. You bring all of those ingredients together and success becomes inevitable. So this is a moment in time where you get to ask yourself, okay, I wasn't expecting this. holy crap, this is awesome. Maybe I'm a little terrified. Maybe I'm completely stoked. And give yourself the opportunity to apply in the book. As Rhonda mentioned, not only is, the Wild Book package the way to actually do the book, we created an opportunity that if you want to leverage this book to really accelerate your business, to be able to accelerate your impact, your legacy, on an even larger scale, that's the Wildest Book package. Every month we, look in your personal brand, how to position yourself when all these people start searching your name after they see you in these features. How do you capture that traffic? How do you monetize that traffic? But ultimately, how do you build a lifestyle that matches the desire and vision you have for your life? And that is our whole idea behind the Wild Book and what we're doing here. So Jed, I'll pause here for you and see if there's anything you want to share or jump into, because I know you are, coming into this latest book too.
Yeah, so I'm going to be in Intuition, so the one that's going to come out, I think, around June. And I think for me, even that the book isn't out yet, and I think I started, Rhonda, do you remember? Maybe somewhere last year we got connected and we started like the process.
Last August, I think.
Like already everything that happened before the book is even live, has been amazing. So like all the opportunities I got already so far, in terms of speaking, in terms of also doing the TEDx course, like all those things come from the connections that, this book has built. And then all the amazing articles and PR that already has happened even before the book launches. It's just incredible. And now that we're going to do indeed New York, LA, right? It's all happening like super soon. And it just seems like a super fun and super fast train, to be on. But it's so great because as soon as I obviously jumped in and said yes to that, especially Rhonda, just so many things unfolded after that, that I didn't even think or knew were going to be part of this whole journey. So I feel like for me, it has been like such a win so far to join. And I can't even imagine what's going to happen when the actual book that I'm going to be in is going to be in the stores, So yeah, I would say, again, thinking about if you feel aligned with this and you're like, yes, this is definitely the next step I should take, listening to that gut feeling and going for it. Because, I go back to the cost of inaction. I think if I wouldn't have done this, Rhonda, I would not have been, and I'm claiming it, I would have not spoken this year at a TEDx stage, which I'm going to do. And, I would have not been able to be in all these amazing publications, articles, or podcasts that I'm going to be on, and even on this, really great online summit. So I feel like I know I would have missed out on so much if I would have not gone for it. And I'm super grateful that I jumped in and I said yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And I'm so grateful as well. I mean, the amount of things that are coming forward, we're rolling out, and we just had a meeting with a publisher on yesterday for what's taking place this coming June. And so this is the beauty, right? Is that now our wealth authors, they've actually had 2 launches because we rewrote the book completely, because in order to have a well-written book that's actually in bookstores, it has to be written by CMS guidelines. Now, most of you might know that and may confuse ourselves with, there's Amazon bestsellers. This is completely different. Our publisher, we don't even talk about being an Amazon bestseller, because if you have a great book, you're going to become an Amazon bestseller. Most of it's utilized as kind of a marketing thing. So we focus on high quality, well-written books, which are CMS guidelines. We now are planning, I have conversation now with Barnes & Noble in Times Square. We're doing Times Square billboards. I mean, this is what's happening just in June, right? Just coming up for this intuition book. And of course, everyone that is in the mission, the movement comes along as well. Like Beata and Stephanie and so many others came to our wealth book launch, and they're intuition authors. So now intuition book will have wealth, and we'll have leadership authors, and we're just going to be doing some really amazing things. And I wanted to remind everyone, because we're going to actually be in Times Square billboards. So we've got 2 options. One is the personal. So you can see this was the big personal billboard, right? This is our individual faces, and everyone, of course, has the opportunity to be in the will be in the billboards. And then this one launched like 3 months after, several different times in Times Square. I run it constantly, but like how fun to walk around Times Square. Just imagine yourself being in Times Square and going, that's me. Like, that's me. I'm on that billboard. And from there, so many more magical things start to happen. And so we're excited for that. And we'd love for having everyone, take the time to fill out the the application. And certainly, if you also know others, we know the way I've built both of the first two books was really more so on referrals. If you know others that should be part of it and you want them in this movement, also share that, because we take certainly accommodation, into those that are doing referrals.
Amazing. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Jet. That link there, bit.ly WGW apply. And I know some of you have already applied. So if you've already applied, just put applied or going to apply if you know that's you. And as Jet said it's like, what feels right in terms of alignment. And sometimes I find it's the things that scare us, and we get this feeling of like, I either feel like I'm batshit crazy or I'm totally onto something, or I'm this nervous, excited combination, that those get to be the moments that we really get to, connect to and say, hey, this is actually something showing up. And as we said yesterday, we miss every single shot that we don't take. So we miss every single shot that we don't swing at. And what happens if you swing, and what happens, as we get to go from that there. So I want to close this out here and, lead us into a final little activation. But before we do that, Jet, I know you're such a woman of wealth of knowledge. Any little nuggets that you want to just drop into here in the scope of visibility, impact, any of those things for everyone here?
Yeah, definitely. So I think being in a best-selling book, that is definitely something that's gonna put your name on the map. Like I've actually discussed with Rhonda that I self-published a book before, and I do quotation marks because it was Amazon, and I've put my heart and soul into it, but it was hard. It was definitely hard to get it out there, to get it properly marketed, and it didn't hold that much leverage. And I feel like going with a proper publishing company, like really doing it, I would say official way, that's gonna also rank well in Google, and you're gonna be able to see yourself in bookstores. That holds such a weight in terms of branding, in terms of authority. It's just, it's unknown. And of course, everything else that comes with it, like all the articles and all of that, I feel like that value is just so much more than actually what you would invest into the book, because those articles, those links, they're going to live forever, They're going to be there, they're going to rank for you. So I feel like in terms of just marketing and PR, it's such a strong investment for any business owner, beginning entrepreneur, for two reasons. So one, I think it's a good strategic business choice in terms of marketing and PR. But two, also because it's so much fun, and the network and the sisters that you get from this opportunity is also just amazing. Yeah,
we'll move into that. One thing I wanted to remind everyone is that yesterday, actually, I forgot to share, Courtney reached out and she's like, look, she created a whole line for authors in order to have funding, so that, we're using other people's money. She's got some requirements. Certainly you have to have a, quality business and some cash flow. However, because now this is a new leg for Courtney, is supporting women in business and supporting their business expansions. And she makes it really simple. So when you do fill out the application, certainly you're going to get an opportunity to meet Jules and I. We want to learn about your vision, learn about why do you really truly want to be part of this? And then we'll share with you all the opportunities that's available on the pricing structure, how you can have that funded, and how you can be part of all the amazing things we're putting together for it.
Awesome. Meanwhile, let's throw some love in the chat for Jet and how amazing she is to be with us at 2 a.m, rocking it out and connecting with us. What a rock star, Jet. So great to have you on here. Give her some love, everyone.
Yeah, totally. She's so awesome. Okay. And then also you can meet our authors and really see like the amazing women that we actually have that are part of this book series. This is Jamie Anderson, who's in the Wealth book, Olympic gold medalist Annette May, Diana Wentworth from Chicken Soup for the Soul. She's written all of our forwards in the books. We met Danelle Delgado yesterday. If you don't know who she is, she's the millionaire maker. First woman that actually made $1 million in 90 minutes on Grant Cardone's stage. And she's just incredible. And so these are all the beautiful ladies. If you've been watching some of these names popping up, there are authors and you're meeting them here. And this is the group, and you'll be able to really see like, who are these women? Who do I get access to? Ebony Swank actually she took her company from $12,000 to $40 million. And she's grown by being part of the book in the last 2 years of PR. She's grown from a $12 million company to a $40 million company. And it's just, these are amazing women, right, that are in this space. Karen Welland, I just actually saw her in London. She's from Ireland. So this is just as what and who you get to be next to. And that's why we really want to have you just dig into seeing like, wow, these are the beautiful women and look what they're doing. And look at the access that I have. I always use that access is everything, right? Having an access is getting in the door. right? Now, many times we can get in the door, but we may not earn our seat at the table. But we earn our seat at the table when we say yes, and we're connected to these type of women. Beata's going to be in Antarctica with us. You all met Courtney. Courtney's a double author. So Stephanie Bruns, Robin Mullins, been in both books. I mean, a lot of us stay in all the series. Stephanie J was in Nepal. Rena Merchant actually works for Google. She's one of the head of Google. So again, really exciting stuff. Just want to give everyone just those insights behind what's possible when we say yes.
Yeah, everyone. So I'm going to take us through a very brief final closing activation, and then we are going to tie this into a bow. I want to thank you all so much for being with us over the last few days. It has been extraordinary. If you have loved your time here, show that love in the chat with a yes, yes, or a hell yes. Anything that you want to do to celebrate yourself. But I want you just to claim wherever you're at, whether you're clear you want to be in the book, whether you're clear that the vision that you want to eventually one day do, whether you're clear that just being in this conversation has been expanding your possibility. We're all a part of the conversation. It doesn't matter where we're at in the conversation. And just also acknowledging that it takes time, it takes intention, and it takes energy. And it's really those of us that say, I'm going to choose a different timeline for my life. I'm going to surrender from my predictable possible timeline of linear reality, and I'm going to choose a different timeline. And I'm going to just say yes to something and see what the yes could look like. And as we talked about yesterday, we get our clarity by putting ourselves in the medium. We get our clarity by taking an action, seeing how it feels, seeing where it shows up, and letting that domino effect really begin to expand. So with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap this into a beautiful bow and close your eyes for just a moment, everyone. Feel your feet anchor to the ground. Sit straight up through your spine and reach your arms up overhead. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Allow your breath to become spaciousness through the crown of your head, opening up your hips, almost feeling like your womb, your sacral area, the center of intuition, getting a giant warm hug, feeling your heart expanding, the feeling of gratitude for yourself, feeling your feet anchor, allowing your palms to find an upward position on your lap if that's available, and acknowledging to yourself that I am a woman who gets to be in conversations like this. I'm a woman who gets to expand into her fullest wild expression. And as you feel that expansion, feel your heart feel that expansion. As you feel the ripples of your heart, almost imagine them emitting this beautiful pink glowing frequency from your heart this moment, sending this beautiful pink glowing frequency like a radio receiver out into the world. As you feel the connection to the other women that are here from all parts of the world in this very moment in time. And on the count of 3, we're going to beam that frequency, this beautiful pink frequency, into a golden light. We're going to feel the connection of the full force of our heart, our energy, our celebration of being in this conversation. We're going to claim it into the ground and feel it like points of a star shooting up to make one central point. So activating that feeling in your heart, getting ready to beam it out into the world, collectively feeling it with each other fully in 3, 2, 1. Feel it. Beam it. Feel it radiating from your heart in this moment, this golden pink light shooting up into the sky, one unified point making contact as you get present to the connection, the network of other women shining their light in this very moment. The blessing and the gift that you are here in this network and knowing that you are the expansion. In the count of 3, you're going to breathe the expansion, become the network of expansion fully all the way in 3, 2, 1. Breathe it all the way into your heart and all the way out. Allowing yourself to know in this moment that you are collectively woven into the thread of magnification, abundance. You are the visibility in motion. You are the commotion. You are the devotion. Feeling yourself rising as you become more visible just by being anchored to this tether of visibility. Feeling yourself dissolving any barriers or imprints as you allow yourself to say yes to the fast track. Feeling this golden tingling moving through your body, this energy from your feet, vibrationally up your spine, up through the crown of your head, pleasure erupting in your body. It is my divine right to have joy in my body. I get to claim everything here in my body. When my body is pleasured and I am turned on, I am activated and I am the woman that is wild. liberated here, feeling your chest open and expand and breathing this feeling one more time, all the way in and all the way out. And feeling the stage emerging once again, remembering what it was like on that very first day to walk out onto that stage. Maybe seeing a stage very vividly, like one of those things that you anchored, maybe just imagining and the sensing it. And I want you to feel how easy it is now to be on the stage and be seen. Feel your feet now of how easy it is to take up space, to know now that's your divine right to be in the space. And feeling yourself here, taking just a few moments to bask, whether you're basking in an audience or basking in yourself, basking in the network of taking space. And taking a few moments to fully feel the taking up space, noticing and hearing anything there is for you here as you bask in the space. And as you stay here, imagining maybe even words being thrown at you. You're so beautiful. You're so brave. You're so courageous. I'm so inspired by you. You're such a leader. Imagine hearing these words at you. I can't believe what you're saying yes to. You're so courageous. You're so bold. Thank you. Thank you. And imagining the roar of the sisters around you and those in the audience, your network of support, echoing and reflecting back to you, knowing the already doneness of it. The choice to be visible is a choice to step into full power, and you fully claim visible. And on the count of 3, we're going to anchor and fully claim, I am visible. And whether you say it out loud, roaring to yourself in this moment, or you imagine it, you're going to fully hear in 3, 2, 1, claim it. I am visible.
I am visible.
I am visible. And allowing that I am visible to erupt up and know that it is one decision that brings you into a new timeline. I am visible as I choose this new timeline. I am the woman who says yes to extraordinary things. I am the woman who moves forward with things that make me uncomfortable. I am the woman whose divine right it is to be in a book. I'm the woman whose divine right it is to step into the stage because I am visible. And taking just one more breath in through your feet, to feel that power anchoring you to the earth as a giant wave comes up through your legs, your knees, your hips, your womb, the pleasure dancing as it comes up the back of your spine and your heart, activating your throat and your voice, all the way up your cheeks, through your eyes to the crown of your head. One beacon turned on light. You are here. And feeling that feeling one more time as you breathe the I am visible all the way in and all the way out. And choosing in just a moment before you open your eyes how you see the world. Who is the woman who is visible? What does she do? What action does she take? How does she lead? How does she say yes? How does she stand? How does she speak? Who is the woman activated, the wild woman within you? And allowing that feeling maybe to come into your cheeks and giving you a smile and warming up your heart. And as you're ready, we're going to open our eyes and give ourselves a giant round of applause in 3, 2, 1, opening your eyes and reaching up and giving yourself the most amazing round of applause into the visibility of you and who you are. And taking just a moment here to charge that I am visibleness. And if there's anything you want to say to yourself out loud or to your sisters in the chat, and even for our men, I know we got men in here too, I want you to claim that. Claim your visibility stance. You choosing a new timeline. I am on the visible timeline. Claim that in the chat for yourself if that feels resonant. I am on the visible timeline, because you are, by making that choice. Yeah, yes, yes, it is happening. Yes, and hell yes, I love that. I surrender from known linear. I change tracks, and it really gets to be that simple. Rhonda, anything you'd like to close this out with here? And Jet, anything as well?
I'm just inspired by the collective energy, just feeling us sitting there in that meditation visualization. I see the possibility of all of us speaking on stage. The 80,000 women in a Coliseum is getting closer and closer. And I just want to thank everyone for really saying yes to yourself. You already said yes to yourself because you're here. You said yes. Now say yes to being more visible and being present for yourself. And as a mother, there are some things that the moment I say yes, my daughter watches, and she has been saying yes to her life. And even though it gets scary, they watch us. So how can we be bigger women for the world and leaving a bigger impact not only on the next generation, but on the world around us just by the mere fact that we said yes together. So I can't wait to meet all of you.
Yeah. Jet, any last words from you?
Yeah, I feel like such a great energy from everyone here in the chat as well. They're all super excited, and I would love to meet all of them. I would love to meet all of you amazing women somewhere, whether that's going to be in one of the events or at a book signing, or obviously on these online masterminds that we do as well with the authors. Would love to get to know all of you guys and girls, obviously, and to spread some more wild women energy together.
Yeah, beautiful, Jet.
There is a men book. We kind of let this one become the women. We are launching the men's book. The men have been kind of sneaking in the back and going, "Hey, what about us?" We're like, "We got it." My husband Brian is going to help manage and run the men's book along with our masterminds collectively. So we're really bringing the heat. If we were ever wild, in the wild, the logo is about fire. The fire is ready to torch.
Yeah, so good. Your final homework assignment is actually to, in the spirit of the art of being visible, to actually claim your visibility. I'm on the visible timeline. Your homework is to actually draw yourself on the visible timeline. And it doesn't matter how eloquent of an artist you are or aren't, but the whole point is that your physical hands, right? These are the extension of how we take our manifestation, our ideas, our intention into the world. We create from up here, but we bring them into the world through these hands. And so I want you to take those hands, use those hands, and as an extension, draw your visible timeline. Draw yourself on the stage if you see it. Draw yourself in whatever way that visibility of I am visible looks like. And I want you to put that somewhere that you can see it. And I want you literally every day for the next week, I want you to look at it. And I want you to claim the energy of it. It's merging the two worlds. It's how nonlinear reality works. We merge the 3D with also the realm of the nonlinear to create this momentum, this aligned momentum. So take that on as your homework assignment and draw yourself, post it somewhere that you can see, take a picture of it, put it in the chat. We're going to be in the Facebook group all weekend with you if you haven't caught up on the homework. First day was the caveman gruntman statement. Yesterday was to write the letter for yourself as active tense. Today is to do the visibility timeline. You've got until Monday to have access to these recordings. So go rewatch them. Rewatch some of these meditations if you'd like. If you know that you want to come back to this again and again and again, it is $33 as of right now to get the bundle. After Monday, that price will go up to $44. And eventually these are going to be sold for $97 and up for future stuff that we do. So if you know you want to come back to this, like I said, that pays for our administrative costs to host something like this. We do this as a labor of love and being in this conversation. And so you have the option to do that as well. Most importantly, I just want to acknowledge all of our speakers who have given our time. I want to acknowledge the team, Mary, Raya, Team Women Gone Wild. I know working in many different time zones. And I also want to acknowledge all of you. This is not usual scheduled programming. You take time out of your day, your life for yourself. And that's extraordinary. When we say I'm willing to look at the default, as we said, the predictable auto routine, my usual scheduled programming, and change the channel and unsubscribe to something to give space for something new, that's how we lift the world. And that's how we do it. And so I really hope that you take this energy, you take this momentum, that if you're here, you're a part of it. So don't be like, she's a part of it or she's better than me or whatever. We're all in it. It's all included. We're all here for it. And that you allow this to be the seed and we light the lights that light the world. And that's what this is. I light myself. We light the lights so we light the world. And if you do know that you want to be a part of this book, bit.ly, Woman Got Wild, apply, take the chance. You're literally going to hear from Rhonda and I. You're going to have a conversation with us. And we're going to talk about, does it make sense? Is it aligned? I believe in things. If alignment is present, then it's hell yes. And we're just going to look at, is it aligned? And so if you're curious, is it aligned? Then let's look at it. How does it relate to what you're up to? How does it relate to your business? How does it relate to these things? And if you want to, as Jet said, meet us somewhere in the world, we've got all kinds of incredible stuff that's going on. And we're going to share some other great resources with you next week. So stay tuned for our email recaps. And just know it's been an honor and a pleasure. And there's nowhere else I would give my voice to for the day than to conversations like this that actually really move the world forward. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Don't forget to be unstoppable, stay wild, and live unconventional.